So let's jump into some things here today. Let's talk about unsold customer follow-up. It's the situation we have. People come to the dealership, they don't buy, they leave, and what are we doing to follow up with them to either get them to buy it or to get them back into the dealership? And how you handle this is going to be an extension of your sales process. Keep something in mind, and we've talked about this numerous times, that your job as a salesperson when the customer is in the dealership is really three things. It's to get them to find a car they love, to get them to like you, and to get them to want to do business at your dealership. If you do those three things and they do not buy and you do them correctly, you will have a much better rate of success with follow-up. Now, let's keep a couple of facts in mind. Some people come to your dealership with no intentions of buying at that time. That's normal. That's natural. They're scared. They're apprehensive. They're fearful. They want to go home. They want to think about it. They want to digest it. Some people come in with every intention of buying. And the only reason we don't sell them is because we do a horrible job in the sales process. If we do a good job, then we're going to sell them. So don't take it personally when somebody doesn't buy. I do believe that after everybody leaves, I like to take a few minutes and really gather my thoughts, and determine, did I do something wrong? Could I have done something different? Again, sometimes you might have done all the right steps and they just were not ready to buy at that point in time. Some people come to the dealership ready to buy, but tell themselves, we will not buy when we go the first time. Some people we scare away. Some people want to shop. Some people want to shop price. Some people want to shop other cars. I might come into a Chevy store, but want to look at a Ford and a Chrysler product. There's nothing wrong with that. That's, part of my shopping process. Who's going to win? Who's going to get my sale? Well, again, it's going to be who has the car that I love. That's why it's so important first to find the car that the customer loves. I got to like you as a salesperson. If I love the car and I don't like you, that's why I leave and I'm going to go shop somewhere else, and your follow-up is useless. So in order to have good follow-up, you have to make sure that your sales process was effective. Now, with that said, let me give you some facts, some statistics that we've put together. And these statistics are not good. The statistics say that less than 15% of salespeople make more than one follow-up call attempt. They make one attempt, maybe they don't get through, they leave a message, and that is the end of the conversation. Maybe they get the customer says they're not ready to make a decision yet, and they don't follow up again. Less than 10% of salespeople make more than 3 follow-up attempts. So they give up after the third attempt. And 10%, that means 1 out of 10. The worst part of all is the average salesperson sells 10 to 12 cars per month, and the average closing ratio is 20%. Some do better, of course, some do worse, but in order to be successful, you have to have a good follow-up campaign. Now, what does unsold follow-up really mean? Well, it determines your determination. It measures your determination to make a sale. How hard do you want to go the extra effort to make the sale? It measures your efforts of whether you're good at bringing customers back in. It reveals certain things about you, because if you don't want to make the follow-up calls and do what you have to do, you're looking at this as more of a job and not a career, and it reveals your work ethic. We've always heard this before. We call and call until they die or they buy somewhere else. Now, I don't want you to hound people. Don't hound me. If I come in your dealership looking for a car, don't hound me, but I will respect good follow-up. I'm also of the mindset that good follow-up is something that you do on a regular basis. I believe in my heart and soul that we as salespeople would sell more cars if we stayed in touch with our customers. Just because someone doesn't buy from you today doesn't mean they won't buy from you tomorrow. So they're part of your list of people. They're in your funnel. They're people you can talk to on a regular basis. So why is follow-up important? Well, it's important because our closing ratio on walk-in traffic is only 13%. And we would sell more. When a customer leaves, they're in limbo. They haven't made up their mind. They're juggling certain things. We follow up because obviously we want to make a sale, and it helps us get referrals and people back into the dealership. The ironic thing is when we talk to customers and we ask them, are you expecting a follow-up call? Most people say no. And most people say they don't even get that follow-up call. So why would the average salesperson not make a follow-up call? Now, I know a lot of you out there are saying, well, I do make the follow-up call, but do you really? And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Maybe you don't make a follow-up call because you don't have the motivation, the determination. You're not focused on what you're doing. Maybe you don't think the effort's worth the payoff. Maybe the customer's looking at a car and it's going to be a mini commission deal, and you're not thinking past that one customer and what it can bring. But I will tell you that the 2 biggest reasons why salespeople don't make their follow-up call, number 1 is the fear of rejection. It's a fear that we get the no, and you can never be afraid to get no. No is part of the process. People that are afraid to get no will never succeed in this business. They say you got to get 7 no's before you get a yes, and all that stuff is great information. But if they say no, it's not the end of the world. You've invested all this time. And the next biggest reason is because we're lazy and we just don't want to do the work. It's not worth it to us to do the effort. And if that's the case, then really you should be looking for some other kind of work to do. If you're not going to put the effort into it for you, your customer, for the dealership, then you should really do something else. What type of salesperson does have excellent follow-up strategies? Well, that would be someone that's an elite salesperson, someone that sells a lot of cars. There is nobody out there, I fully believe this, selling 20, 30, 40 cars a month that does not have a good unsold follow-up process. They have something that works for them. And we're going to talk about that. Someone who's determined to win, someone who's creative, an outgoing person is someone who's going to do a lot of follow-up, someone that's highly motivated. Now, what I want to share with you right now is what we call the rules of reciprocity. And this is nothing new. It might be new to you. But the rule of reciprocity says, and I'm going to quote you here, it takes 7 follow-up attempts before a customer consciously is aware that you're even reaching out to them one time. What we're saying is that it doesn't sink into them until they get 2 or 3 follow-up calls. Okay, so the rule of reciprocity says that you have to be consistent with doing your follow-up calls. Okay, and I have down here 80% of the reasons they choose one person over another, a customer, is because based on that follow-up. So you have to be persistent in your follow-up. And again, I'm going to talk to you about that in a few minutes. So what are some common follow-up mistakes that people are using? Well, one of them is you try to follow up by email. And that's a huge mistake. Okay. I have 2 email addresses. I have 3. I have my business email address. I have my personal email address, and I have my junk email address. And I believe people have multiple email addresses. I get so many emails that I don't look at half of them. I might scan through them just to see if something catches my eye. I delete a lot of emails, and email's not a very good form of a delivery method. Here in my corporate office, if you emailed me something that had an attachment, you might never get through to me. If you emailed me certain things that had certain keywords in it, it's not going to get through to me. So email is not a very, very strong source for doing follow-up. A lot of times the emails just have caption lines that are not good. The other thing that mistakes that we make, whether it be email or text, is that you don't have a call to action in the email. I see this all the time. You send an email follow-up, hey, I just wanted to follow up, but there's no call to action. You're not asking me to do something. For example, if you're following up and you're asking me, have I made a decision yet? I have no reason to reply to you. That's not a call to action. If the answer is no, I just won't reply. Or if you email me and ask me, how's my shopping going? And I've decided to buy somewhere else, there's no call to action. There's no reason for me to get back to you. But if you sent me an email or a text, however, and the closing was, hey, we had someone come in this morning and we might be able to get you a few more dollars for your trade. Give me a buzz and I can go over that with you. Well, that's a call to action. Or if you called me and said, hey, another used car came in late last night. It's exactly what you were looking for. And it's actually $1,000 cheaper. There's a call to action. It's a hook. Give me a reason to get back to you, to follow back up with you. Okay. Sometimes we don't do this quick enough. You're not following up quick enough in the process. If somebody comes in the morning, I want to follow up with them in the afternoon. If they come in the evening, I want to follow up with them the next day. Now, as we talk about this, I want to jump ahead a little bit here for what I think is good follow-up. And keep something in mind that as a salesperson, you want to be unique and you want to catch the customer off guard. We say pleasantly off guard. You want to do things that they don't expect. That's why in the sales process, we're not big believers in high pressure and trial closes. On the, if you could, would you? And doesn't this going to look great in your car, in your driveway? That's pressure that you don't need to put on somebody. We sell the value of us in the dealership and the product. I believe the best follow-up you can do within 2 hours of a customer leaving the dealership is a video. And you will never sell me on anything different right now. I'm sure as technology grows, maybe there'll be something better down the line. But if I came to your dealership and I looked at a vehicle and said I wanted to go home and think about it, if you went out to the lot and filmed a 60-second video, hi, Mr. Lewis, It was so nice spending time with you this morning. I thought I would shoot you a quick video of the car that we looked at. This is the blah, 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 blah. Just walk around the car, open the door, with the leather seats, the color you like, but whatever it may be. And I thought throughout your shopping process, if you wanted to look back on what we looked at here at our dealership, you would have this video. Now, what am I betting on? Well, I'm betting on A, that nobody else is going to do that, and that sets me apart from everybody else. I'm going to bet on B, the fact that they might share this video with somebody. Maybe a spouse came in without their significant other. Maybe someone wanted to share it with a parent or a coworker or something. They could share the video, but you're going the extra mile. You're showing people you care. Now, in this video, I would not ask for a sale. I wouldn't do a high pressure. I wouldn't say, so when can you come back in? That's going to scare somebody. Don't forget, you're going to make 7 attempts at this customer through the rules of reciprocity to get them to understand that you're trying to follow up with them. Now, when you make this video, again, short is better. Don't make a 3, 4, 5-minute video. Nobody's going to watch that. I recommend you post the videos on YouTube. Why? It's simple, it's easy, and it's free. And everybody can play a YouTube video. They're playable on the phone, on my computer, on my tablet. They don't take a lot of streaming, and they're simple. And most people trust YouTube. I don't have a fear of clicking that YouTube link. And the best part of all is it's out there for everybody to see. I think these videos should be made public. It doesn't hurt you. When I set up the video, I put in my meta tags or my information. I would put 2021 Honda Accord. I'd put in the name of the dealership. I'd put in my name. I'd put in the zip code. I'd put in the city and state. That way, if anybody happens to Google search in that market, Honda Accord, well, guess what? It might pop up. You know why? Because who owns YouTube? Google. And they combine their threads together. So if someone's Google searching something, your video might pop up because it's in your market, and Google knows where that people are shopping are located. But it does so much. And I'm going to give you a real life story. A number of years ago, my daughter, when she graduated high school, I bought her a car. I said, I'm going to get you a car for graduation. And I said, look, you go out and you find what you like, and then we'll make the deal. I didn't want to go dealership to dealership shopping with her. And she went and looked at a car, and it actually was a Honda Accord, and the salesperson sent her a video. And she was so pleased because she could say to me, Dad, look, this is what I want. This is the exact car right here. Now, I know I'm unique. Do you love it, honey? Yes, I love it. Okay, we'll go buy you the car. I'm not a big haggler negotiator. I just want a good, fair deal. If she's happy and you'll take care of her, I want to buy the car. But it was the video that put her over the edge, and it gave her something to show me. So that is really, really good follow-up. Okay. So let me look at my notes here. So we talked about the sending of the video. You have to have a reason to contact me, and that can be the video. And remember, when you follow up, it's not all about price. Price should really not come into this unless you're down in the process. If you're 6, 7 follow-ups into it, then maybe do you want to bring price in this situation? Absolutely. Okay. There's multiple reasons. So let me give you some final thoughts here, because the point that I really wanted to get across to you today was the video and the texting. That was the most important thing. But if you're going to follow up, it requires commitment, dedication. You've done the work while at the dealership, continue with the follow-up. And, one of our notes on here is never stop until they say stop or they die. Well, hopefully we don't want them to die. Unfortunately, most people won't say stop to you. They'll just block you. So you never really know. Okay. Follow-up has to be part of your daily routine. It has to be. Why not follow up with people that were in a month ago? You never know. I mean, I'm going to share something with you in a second. Don't sound like your typical salesperson. You do, you're going to lose me. Always sell yourself in the dealership, leave a lasting impression, and never give up. But let's talk about something real quick, because I got a few more minutes here. I believe in relationships. I believe that people will come to me years down the road if I made a good impression on them. I've been in this industry a long time. I've had my company for 35 years. I get calls from people who say, hey, you made an impression on me 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it may be. I'm also big on follow-up. I stay in touch with people regularly. But what do you do or say when you do the follow-up and the customer says they bought a car somewhere else? Now, if they bought the same brand and model you sell, I think I would take that personally, and I would, in a very casual way, say, geez, congratulations, but was there something that I did that made you not want to purchase the car from me? I'd want to know. I never take a bad attitude in this situation. And I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard because you want to say things that you know you should not say. Keep them up here. Don't spit them out there. But let's just say somebody buys another car. Let's say you sell Hondas and they bought a Toyota, or you sell Fords and they bought a Chevy. Does that mean they didn't like you? No, it means they like the other product better. Now, is that going to happen? Yes. And is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. So the problem that I always have with this is once that's done and we hang up the call, most salespeople forget about that customer forever. They're done. It's over. They bought somewhere else. But you see, you're missing the key point here. They're going to buy another car. Their family's going to buy other cars. Their coworkers. Take me as an example. Okay. So I control my car that I buy. I lease a car every 3 years. I also have an input and say in my 3 kids. They buy cars. Okay. My girlfriend buys a car. Her kids buy cars. So I have influence over those. I have employees. They might come to me and ask me questions about a car. We also have company cars. Some of our people have company cars. So there's another input. So I might control over a 3 to 5 year period upwards of 15 or 20 people that are buying cars. Why, if I bought a car somewhere else, or I decided not to buy your car, would you want to stop staying in touch with me? I'm a gold mine to you, an absolute gold mine. So here's another little tidbit idea, and then we're going to get to some questions. I'm noticing a lot of questions are popping in. Okay, let's just say that, Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith buy the other car. Why not follow up with them in 6 months and see how that new car is doing? Follow up in a year from now to say hello. Now, me personally, I like to offer maintenance. So what I do when I follow up in 6 months, even though they bought the other car, is I say, hey, how's the car? Great. Hey, I'm sure just like ours, your car requires maintenance every 6 months, an oil change, maybe a tire rotation. We'd love to earn your opportunity to have the maintenance done here. Some will say yes, some will say no, but it doesn't matter. It's a contact. It's a relationship. It's me touching base with them. I call my customers every 6 months. Just wanted to remind you of an oil change, a tire rotation. Nobody's ever gotten mad at me. There's some people have said, I didn't buy the car from you. Why are you calling me? Well, to be honest with you, you might control other car sales down the road. You might know somebody. And I want you to know the service I would have given you had you bought our car. And I respect that you decided to buy something else. I understand that sometimes you like something or you need something different. But I still wanted to stay in touch. I've never had anybody say, no, you don't need to stay in touch with me anymore. They always say, oh, that's nice. Okay, great. And that creates people coming into my dealership. Build a relationship with these people. Create a career. If you look at people that sell 30 plus cars a month, they don't do it off of walk-in traffic. Okay, I've always joked with you. I don't take ups. I don't do ups. I don't do push-ups, pull-ups, or sit-ups. And the word up just scares me. I like to work off the people that are in my pipeline, that are in service, that call into the dealership. So with that said, I'm probably giving you some tidbits. Let's say I got a couple of questions popping in here right now. Bob wants to know, if one of my customers says they purchased another car during my first follow-up call, how should I handle that? Well, I think I answered that for you. Be nice, be kind, be polite, congratulate them, wish them the best, and end the conversation. And then start follow-up 6 months later. Like, pretend they bought the car from you. Okay. What is a good subject line for a follow-up email? Okay. Well, hold on one second. I had some notes here on that. Okay. All right. So listen to this. 80% of emails are deleted. Primary reason, bad subject line. 47 decide to open email solely because of a catchy subject line. 69% delete emails solely based on the subject line. Subject line should sound conversational. It should be concise and actionable. It should be simple. It should be real. It should be about them and not you. Don't be salesy. Don't give away too much detail. Like a line would be, I thought of something you need to know, or, I think I can get you another $500 for your trade. Those are subject lines that might grab my attention. Okay. So again, folks, I'd stay away from the emails and I'd go to the texting. I just think if you did a good presentation and demonstration, most people will share their cell phone number with you. What should I say if my customer says they have a better price at another dealership on the first follow-up call? Well, that's a great question. I would want to know what that price is. And are we comparing apples to apples? If there's something different, then I would ask them, have I earned the opportunity to try to be competitive with my price? Just ask them, come straight out. Hey, have I earned the opportunity to try to be competitive? And if they say yes, you have a couple of options. Number one is you can just be competitive, or number two is you can say, could you please do me a favor? Could you take a picture of the worksheet that they've given you, okay, and send it over to me? Let me look at it to make sure that I'm going to give you an apples for apples comparison, because I want to make sure we're looking at the right car. If they refuse to send you the worksheet, they probably didn't get a worksheet, or they might not be giving you truthful information. What should I say if they offer a specific price over the phone? Okay. Nance, I don't understand it. What should I say if they offer a specific price over the phone? Okay, so here's what I'm assuming you're saying. You've quoted them a price, $30,000. You've made your first follow-up call, and now they've made you an offer. Well, will you sell us this car for $29,000? Now, you have a couple of options here. Option number one is you can now start to negotiate over the phone. I will tell you this: if somebody makes you that offer, it's a strong buying sign. It tells me they want to buy something. They're ready to buy. They're ready to buy. So option number one is I can negotiate over the phone. Option number two is I can try to bring them back into the dealership. Bringing them back into the dealership is the best thing, but it's the riskiest. You cannot just say, come on in and we'll sit with my manager, because I would say to you, no. I don't want to come back in until I know you're going to match the price. Now, if you have a trade, there's a trade involved, that makes it simple. You know what? Here's what I would say. Your offer doesn't seem unreasonable to me. Give people hope, okay? It's like the flag at the end of a golf hole. It's hope that you can hit the flag, get there. I would say, let us take a look at your trade again. I talked to somebody else. There might be a few extra dollars in your trade. That's how I'm going to get you down to that price. Do you have a few minutes you could stop by with the trade so we could take it? That is reasonable now for somebody to come back into the dealership. All right, let me do one more. Is it okay to make more than one follow-up call in a day? If I don't, I'm trying to read through the lines. If I don't get them, should I leave a message or should I keep calling? Okay, listen, and we all know this. Everybody on their cell phone knows when you called. Now, they might not answer it, but most of them see that a call came through. And if you're calling from the dealership, it's going to have the dealership number on it. Me personally, I would never do a follow-up call from the dealership phone number because of the caller ID. You want them to answer the call. So if they're not ready to talk to you, they're going to avoid that call and send you right to voicemail. If you call from the cell phone, you have a couple of options here, and you want to look into this. Sometimes you can have the cell phone actually display your name. Risky, but better than the dealership. Again, if the customer remembered your name and now see you're calling, okay? The other option you have is you can go into your cell phone carrier's website and you can determine how you want that display to come across. So you can have it come across as just cellular call, so that they don't know who it's coming from, and they might be a tad more apt to answer the phone. Everybody's different. A lot of us avoid these robocalls and all that kind of stuff. But I would definitely stay away from calling from a dealership number, and I would call from a cell phone number. Okay, so to answer your question, would I call multiple times? I would do a multitude of things. I might call and leave a voice message. Then 2-3 hours later, I might send a text that said, hey, did you get my voicemail? And by the way, since I left the voicemail, we have somebody that might be interested in your trade. Thus, I can get you some more money. And then end it. Are you interested? Could you please give me a call? Is there a better time that I can call you back? So, yes, I have no problem with you reaching out multiple times. Do not call me every hour. Mix it up. If you want to shoot an email at the end, shoot a picture, whatever it may be. Again, the idea is to get to grab my attention. And if you do that successfully, you will get me back into the dealership. Okay, we're running a little late here now. I've got, it's like 18 more questions here. So as always, I'll answer you all by email. I've got all your email addresses. They come in on here. I hope everybody again is doing well. I want to welcome all our new users to DLA Online. We had a great week last week. This week we sent up a lot of new, so I want to welcome all the new people here. We've got some new features coming out over the next 2-3 weeks. We've redone all the testing processing on our site, and we've got some new courses coming on within the next 30 days. So with that said, hope everyone's doing well, being safe. Hope the month started off with a bang, and I will see you all back here in a couple of weeks. Take care, everybody. Good luck.